Hey you guys, so uh thanks welcome back to my channel. Let's talk. So today let's talk about being confused for somebody else. So has anybody been confused for somebody else and you didn't really realize it at the time until it was kind of too late? Cuz like, if somebody confused you for somebody else and you know it immediately, you'll be like, you'll kind of like laugh it off, like, oh yeah, it wasn't me, blah, blah, blah. But like, if you've been talking to somebody for like 10, 15 minutes and kind of been like nodding through what they've been saying, even though inside you're like, no. Mm. Once it dawned on you that they think you're somebody else, you kind of like don't really want to correct them because then it kind of like feels odd. So I'm gonna tell you, I've had it happen a couple of times, where I didn't get a chance to correct somebody, but I think this is like the longest standing one. So there's this restaurant that I go to. I haven't been in a while because I haven't been back in my home city in a while. But in the when I have gone back, I just haven't gone back to that restaurant in a while. Just because you get feelings of when you want to eat the stuff or not. So I used to go to this restaurant probably like once every 2 weeks or something. And my mom used to go there probably like once a month or so. Or once every month and a half or so. Um, she originally went there because of a friend introduced her to that place. And then she would go there for another friend she used to help take care of. Sometimes he would want something and she'll go there and get it. Um, because it was more food and cheaper to go there than this other place. But anywho, um, as I got started, you know, working again and all this stuff and bringing in money, I used to go there like once every 2 weeks because it wasn't that expensive. I used to get a fish and popcorn shrimp platter with onion rings instead of fries, and more onion rings instead of the side salad. And it'll come with like buttered bread as well. And it used to be like $16 and 16.99. Now over the years and inflation and tariffs and all this stuff, it's probably more now. But like the last time I was getting it, it was like $20 or like 20.99. Now it's been so long, it probably went up to like 21, 22 now in these tariff times. So, anywho, um, yeah. So I went there one day by myself, driving my car that I normally drive, and I put in my order. I try to call in, but sometimes I wouldn't get a chance to call in. And a lot of times too, I would try to catch them when I got off work, cause I would just go directly there afterwards. If I'm not going there after work, it's because it was a weekend uh, day, and I just wanted them. And then when I stopped working that job, then it would just be because I had a taste for them, or whatever the case was. So I would just go after I take a break from studying or something. But anyways, I placed my order for the food at the window if I didn't call it in, and they had this thing where you gotta they have a sign that say press honk if you're ready to order. So whether I was ordering there or I called it in, I would honk the horn on my car, and then I would say, hey, I have I placed the order for blah blah blah. They don't ask for names, so I never said my name. Um, so yeah, so make it to the window. I said, yeah, can I get I said at the window though, can I get like 8 to 10 duck sauces? I'm not thinking nothing of it, and I'd be like, just like one um soy, or that's about it, or none at all, whichever one. But I'm not thinking nothing of it, and I make it to the window, and so like she was like saying hey, and I was like, hey, how are you? But we have the little greeting conversation. I'm thinking it's just a regular old greeting, and she take my card, pay for the stuff, and so then she was asking me about some person. She was like, yeah, so how's Terrell? But I mean, he's doing all right. And I'm like, yeah, he's doing fine. And she was like, okay, great. Well, you wanted 10 duck sauces, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, well, you have a good rest of your day. And I was like, you too. And then I'm driving off, and I'm like, who's Terrell? Who? Wait a minute. Who did she think I was? I was like, so I was like, this whole time, this lady thought I was somebody else. But I was confused because I was like, I wasn't using. I'm like, I showed up in my car using my debit card to pay for my food, and like my face looked regular. So I'm like, who did she think I was? I was like, 'cause even if you thought I was this person, my name was on my debit card. Do you not know this person's name? Or was I just using somebody else's card at that time? I don't know. I was confused. But I thought, maybe it's a fluke. So I let it go. Then I went again. Some time passed. I went again. She was there. She still thought I was the same person. And then some time later, again, she still thought I was the same person. Like at this point, I felt like I can't correct her because I've been this person too long. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know why she keeps still thinking I'm this person. I don't know what this person looks like, but I must look very much a lot like them because she's thinking I'm them. But I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just be them every time I go. So years have passed. Every time I go, she's still thinking I'm this person. And some of the time she's not there at the window. She'll have some family member there. Cause I think there's a family-run business, so it'd be this young Asian girl there instead of her, and all that. And one time she asked me, she was like, "I ain't seen Terrell in a long time. Y'all not together anymore, huh?" I said, "Well, um, you know, life sometimes changes that way, or whatever." I said it was to answer the question but not answer it. And she was like, yeah, I understand, blah blah blah. So like I talked to my mom like the last time I went, which I told you was a while ago. I was like, Mom, this lady still think I'm this person. I said I can't change it. I said, so I guess I'm gonna forever be this person. I said, but I never tried to take this person identity, but it was just, once it got too late, once it, if you don't, I feel like if you don't correct somebody when they make that assumption, or then like the first conversation, even if it's been over 15 minutes or whatever, if you don't correct them within that first conversation, it's like too awkward to do it after that. So, anywho, has anybody else been mistaken for somebody else and you wanted to correct them once you realized that they were not recognizing you as you, but you felt like it's awkwardly been too long of a time, so now you're like, okay, I guess I'm that person. And now that person thinks you're that person all the time. Let me know in the comments. Alright, have a good day.